So, we've learned there are 4 grades of oil. The FDA does not regulate, and there is no essential oil governing body. So, what does that mean for you, the consumer? What it means is you have to find a company you trust. For me, that was Young Living. Here's why. When Gary decided to sell essential oils, there was nothing on the market that was therapeutic based. All of them were riddled with pesticides and fertilizers and solvents because what they were used for was scenting purposes, not therapeutic. Gary decided to open his own farms, and here's where Seed to Seal was born. It's not a marketing slogan, it's not a creative thing to get people interested. What it is a philosophy. Young Living controls the ground all the way through the bottling. They own a lot of their own farms, and they co-op in communities around the world where they've gone in, they've built distilleries, they've taught people how to plant, how to grow, how to harvest. Everyone abides by their Seed to Seal standards. What this means is the ground has no chemicals in it. It's virgin. The seeds they use are non-GMO. They're the best of the best from the crop the year previous. They don't use pesticides. They'll use essential oils to deter pests. They practice planting things like a tomato plant. When you plant a geranium plant by it, it deters pests. This is what they do in the fields. They also do not use fertilizers. They'll use compost from the year previous. Everything left over from the distill is composted. And then this is organic rich material that serves as a fertilizer for all the plants that they're growing. They even have worm farms to help out with those. When it comes to harvesting, Young Living has a whole slew of scientists that are there ready on the farm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'll go out every hour on the hour to do a micro distill in the field to ensure the chemical constituents are there. When they reach their peak, everyone drops what they're doing, it's all hands on deck, everybody goes out, they harvest everything, and they start the distillation at the exact moment that they should. Now, smaller companies that are mom and pop shops, they can't afford to do this. They can't afford to have scientists on staff all the time to make sure that the chemical constituents are there. They're guessing. Large corporations, they don't care to do it. Their main purpose is to have the cheapest price point available to sell them at auction to essential oil companies that then bottle them, package them, and sell them to you. So a Young Living really cares right up to that moment to make sure that all the constituents that are going to have therapeutic benefits to you are there. Now the next step is the distillation process. This is where a lot of companies take a shortcut and really do themselves a disservice. Essential oils need to be distilled at the exact temperature for the exact amount of time that to reach the peak of the chemical constituents. Now, a lot of companies will distill it at too high a temperature because it makes it go much faster, which means they can get another batch in and they can do it faster, faster, faster. They have more batches available. The problem with this is Cypress, for example, has over 200 chemical constituents. However, if it's distilled at 10 degrees too warm, it has about 10. That's a drastic difference when you're using it for a therapeutic benefit. Now, other companies will distill it longer so they get more of the oil out. But think of it this way. If you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, if you run water through the same batch of beans 4 or 5 times, or dip the same bag of tea 4 or 5 times, you're still going to have coffee, you're still going to have tea, but it's going to be a much weaker dilution. What they do is they pour everything into the same vat. So the first one that went through that's very potent and powerful is in there, as well as the 5th batch. So what it does is it dilutes the whole thing. You still have the oil in there that's therapeutic, but it's very weak. So instead of using 1 drop of a very potent product, you're using 10 or 20. And this is what happens a lot of times when you buy oils at Whole Foods or off Amazon. They might be a true product, but they're very highly diluted because they want more product to bottle. Other companies use solvents, and the problem with this is a lot of solvents are carcinogens, like hexane. Hexane is outlawed in countries all over the world. The United States still uses it. When they do this, they're pulling more of the oil out. So you're not only left with a product that has a chemical in it, but a more diluted product. Again, go back to the coffee or tea bag analysis. So it's very important that you have a company that knows how to distill and distills properly all the time. Young Living also bottles their own product. It's not going through different hands. It goes from the farm to their bottling facility. They blend all their own products. And then from there, it goes straight to you. It is tested more than almost any other oil company on the market, both in-house and third-party tested. They also have a wonderful foundation, the Young Living Foundation, that they help communities all around the world. They help people who can no longer go, these children who can't go to school. They school them up through high school. They feed them every day. Some of these are the only children, some of these kids, that's their only warm meal that they ever get. They have programs to help abolish the slave trade, to help abolish human trafficking and slavery. They make shoes for people so they don't get jiggers on their feet. They help rebuild communities like in Nepal after the earthquake. They do wonderful things worldwide. I really encourage you to check them out. The community has a lot of heart and it has a lot of purpose. The last thing I wanted to mention is Young Living has an open door policy. Anyone is welcome at any time to tour the farms. You can go on, you can ask questions, you can smell the flowers, you can weed the fields, we walked and we played in the juniper piles that they had. We talked to the distillation person. We went in where the furnaces were, and this I thought spoke volumes of Gary and the company. Only one furnace was working. There were two there. And I asked why only one was on, and they said, well, it broke and we fixed it, but in the meantime, a cat had come in and had kittens. And until the kittens and the cat were ready to leave, Gary said, we're not gonna fire up that furnace again, because he wanted the cat and the kittens to be safe and okay. And I thought that was incredibly cool. He was taking a hit to profits all over a cat, which was awesome because I'm an animal lover. So I encourage you, go to Young Living Foundation and go to seedtoseal.com. You're gonna learn so much about the company and you are gonna fall in love with it as much as I did. They offer an awesome product. It's one you can trust, and they have purpose over profit all over them.